Alright, so this weekend I've spent a lot of time thinking, and I figured I should write about my time at the alternative school. And what I did is I wrote it all down, just on paper, and I figured, at first I was just gonna make it a blog post and just write it down, just because I don't have internet at home. But I figured after I started thinking about it, I should make it the vlog, since we were supposed to do one anyway, and I guess it's better than, just seemed like something to make into a vlog. And so, a lot of people know my story on why I first came to the alternative school. It was just because, I was pregnant, and my mom thought it'd be a lot easier for me at the alternative school than it would be at the high school, because 50 kids is a lot easier to deal with than 1,000. Especially when you're 9 months pregnant, the size of a blimp, and extremely angry. So, yeah. But I wasn't always glad to be at the alternative school. I remember the very first day I came there, and I was in class at the high school, and all of a sudden I was called to the principal's office. And that was really scary, considering I'm never called to the principal's office. I got there, and my mom and Mr. Cook were sitting there all serious. And of course, that was even more terrifying. My heart was beating so fast. I was trying to figure out what I did, because I hadn't done anything bad, at least not school related, considering I was 3 months pregnant at this time period. But they told me I'd be going to the alternative school, and I didn't even know the alternative school existed, much less wanted to go there. But it had already been decided, and I didn't get a choice. I was going there. And I got there and I saw Mrs. Roach, and she was terrifying to meet. And then Mr. Oney was the first teacher I actually met, and he was the one that walked me around, showed me where everything was. And he was the first teacher that I had class with, even though he was technically my third hour teacher. I started in the middle of the day. And I remember walking into Mr. Oney's class, and I saw all these kids that I had forgotten about. I forgot they even existed, but after I saw them, I remembered them, and I remembered talking to them back at the high school, but they just kind of went away, and I never really questioned it. But at that moment, I was just too upset to think about that at the moment, though. All I could think about was just how mad I was. I didn't want to be there at all. But as the time went by, I remember that things got better. There were still some bad days, of course, but I started to accept that the alternative school was my home. And I felt like I truly belonged somewhere. Because I remember at the high school always feeling like I was never really wanted. Even with my friend groups, I still didn't feel like they actually wanted me there. But I remember at Jefferson Street, I didn't feel like that. I felt like people actually wanted me to be around, and I still do. And I remember growing so close to everyone, even the teachers, and I hated watching the seniors leave, and then the few others get dropped, especially a few of them. I still talk to some of the dropped kids, and it just sucked seeing them leave, and you just wanted them to stay and be there forever, but they can't. And I absolutely hated when I heard that 2 of our teachers would be leaving. It was my first year there, my first year getting to know them, and already they were gone. And there was a part of me that thought I was the reason they left, as silly as that may sound. And I honestly didn't think anyone could take French's and Mrs. Cooley's place. But I was proven wrong. Sure, I miss them both, but I have to admit I love Mrs. Fry quite a bit more than Miss Cooley, even though she was my homebound teacher. Miss Hedrick I don't have in class, so I don't really know how she compares to French teaching-wise, but I do know she is so sweet, and I enjoy our short conversations. But back to Miss Fry. I made a Facebook post about this, but I want to put it on my blog, too. I'll be the first to admit I wasn't thrilled when I heard she was taking Cooley's place. In fact, she was probably the last person I could think of to take Cooley's place. But as the school years gone by, I've learned a lot about her, and I am so glad she's here. Miss Fry showed me that she's the perfect fit for the alternative, and she's slowly starting to become my favorite teacher. Sorry, Chef. But my favorite thing she has added is the message board. Receiving those messages every Friday makes me so happy. Whenever I'm feeling down, I can always get my notes out and reread them, and it just makes me feel a little bit better, and I love everyone that's added to those messages. I still have them. I keep them in my room. I read them all probably at least once a week. And I love everyone and everything about JSC, and I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. And as time goes on and the seniors graduate, I'm probably going to cry. I'm already missing the ones who've dropped and graduated, as short a time as it's been and the few amount. And I was just going to write this down on my blog, but I realized how long it truly was. It's 5 pages written down in my notebook. And I know in debate that 8 pages can carry out to 10 minutes, and I figured that'd be a lot to write, and that seemed like a pretty long blog post and pretty good amount of time. But I just want to say that I'm so glad I got to come here, and thank you guys, Mrs. Roach, and all of the teachers for allowing me to come here and come to the school and be a part of it, just making it a great time. And I just love it so much.